It failed to go live. Please try again. Oh, goodness. All right, and we are live with another TNA, I guess you could say, Impact / Hardcore Justice review. Your host Tony. I'm with my co-host Dave, as always. How are you, Bizarre One?
I'm doing all right.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into this pay-per-view / I guess show, whatever you want to call it. The first match of the night on TNA HardCore Justice was Bram versus Abyss in a Stairway to Janice match. The objective of the match was you have to climb the ladder to grab Janice off, I guess, some kind of rope or something, and then you are able to use it.
And you hit them, then you pin them? I mean, that's it?
Yeah, I guess that's it. Which still didn't make any sense because Bram did eventually grab the Janice, but yet Abyss was still able to use it. So this didn't make sense to me, or at least try to use it. If you saw their match from, 2 weeks ago or whatever have you, in their Monsters Ball match, it was basically the same match, just with a little bit more different, well, not different spots, but you had both of them go through a barbed wire table, or whatever you want to call that. There's a ladder involved this time. Tax again. I mean, TNA is, personally, to me, making me tired of hardcore matches. You've just been having so many in the last month. I'm kind of worn out.
I mean, it seems like they're just trying to get those old fans, who want to see the hardcore wrestling again and trying to get them to, ooh, this is cool. When that match went maybe 10 minutes long, if that, and all they were is 2 spots to the table, get a choke slam or whatever it was through some tacks, and that was pretty much it. That's all they did.
Yeah, it wasn't anything spectacular or anything like that. It wasn't. I saw TNA tweet that it was going to be the most hardcore match this year. It was nowhere near that.
It was nowhere near even better than Rollins and Ambrose. That was even a hardcore match, and that was awesome.
Yeah, and someone made a good point on Twitter, saying all that WWE had to do was put someone through a table, and they got the crowd going. And it seemed like Abyss and Bram threw everything at the crowd, and yeah, they got excited a few times, but you could tell that they were worn out.
You can't compare apples.
The tapings.
I mean, you just can't.
I agree.
You can't, because how many shows has that crowd sat through from TNA? I mean, and plus WE is 1,000 times better than TNA. I mean, that's just what it is right there. The talent level, I mean, there's good talent in TNA. I mean, does Bram guy, I guess he's okay. I don't know.
I don't mind Bram.
The freaking nails in the freaking 2x4.
Yeah, and to comment on what Dave said about the WWE's 1,000 times better, I don't think you could say that 2 or 3 years ago, when TNA was kind of on fire, and then it just kind of went down a slowly slope for some odd reason.
Well, yeah, you were going through the John Cena era too, when it was just John Cena everything, and TNA was just relying on XWE guys like 3 or 4 or even 6 years ago, and that the guys like Kurt Angle, you had Kevin Nash, Sting, Booker T were all in TNA.
Hulk Hogan.
And those were guys you wanted to see. Christian, I don't know if it was 6 years ago he's there, but still it was guys, they were giving you new, and the WE started seeing people still like some of these guys, so the WE started bringing them back. And then what WE really did to change, not to make this a WE video, touch more on this on Sunday, but they seen that. So they started going after, like if you watch that great documentary they did on The Shield tonight, they started going after these independent wrestlers from the indie circuit to make their product that much better.
Yeah. So, anyways, we can touch more on that on Sunday, but I
Exactly.
guess this match was all right. I'm not gonna say it was crap. I mean,
There
I
were some
wouldn't.
spots that were like, when Abyss went through that, I was like, dang, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, and I
But
would never want to be slammed on tacks. I mean, that can't feel good either. But
I mean, take that. Wow.
it just it just seemed repetitive. It just seemed like we've seen this before. You know,
Yes.
it would have nice to be seen something different for once. And
Yeah.
and me personally, I'm tired of Abyss. I liked his other character better, Joseph Parks. I liked his
Really?
better.
I gotta admit, I'd like Abyss better than Joe Park or whatever his name is because I thought he was a horrible character.
Well, I mean, if you think about, look how Abyss has been played lately. He's like some kind of monster supposedly, and he's losing in his own matches, like monster balls. And
Yeah, you would have
uh,
think tonight he would have won that match, but whatever.
yeah, it just you hit him with the you fake a full swing and then you tap him in the stomach with that Janus, and then it's over. That's it. The weapon is not believable. I mean, seriously. You know, why would you? Why would you know? If you hit someone legitimately with that weapon, you would really hurt someone.
Yeah.
And then and it just didn't make sense to me to have him hit him in the stomach of all places, and then he goes down and he loses. I mean, he's like he's some kind of monster. He should have at least kicked out, well, at least once, at least take 2 or 3 shots. But we're going too long on that match. It was all right match. Nothing.
Really quick, 10 minutes long. I mean, and granted, it was nice to have the show start off with a match. So they've been doing that recently a lot, so I do like that.
Yeah. Next, we had Ethan Carter come out to the ring with Spud and Rhino, and he said he's glad he was sent to jail by Kurt Angle because he learned some things while he was there. He said he realized he was responsible for Aunt Dixie's injury, and he pretty much blamed Rhino. I'm guessing we're going to possibly see a Rhino EC3.
Yep, match next week, guaranteed.
I don't care.
Standing match, probably.
I don't care for Rhino too much. I mean, he sounded like a little girl on the mic. You know, it seemed like he said that he. The funniest thing was when he said that line to Ethan Carter, and then it seemed like a 2 or 3 second pause, and he goes, "Bitch." I mean, like, come on, man. I mean, we get it. You're trying to be hardcore. You're trying to send TNA into a different level, but Rhino is not the guy that's going to send you to another level. Definitely.
I know,
not.
but that was so dumb how they did that. I mean, it would have been better if he was told to do something like, I don't know, but then he's like, "Oh, I blame you," and then he's like, "You know what? Take your money and shove it up your ass." And that's like he said that after he.
Yeah, you're right.
He didn't
Like
just, it was stupid.
it was like
he
a
turned face because it's like, what? It's stupid.
Yeah, it was like a snap
You
of a
should've done
finger.
that.
Snap of a finger. Rhino is automatically pissed off at Ethan Carter and wants to kill him. You know, that didn't make sense to me. Why not? You know, could have had Rhino
Use
say,
it different.
"Hey man, you need to relax. You know, it's not my fault that yada yada yada," and then maybe build up to it. Not just automatically he blames him and then he goes, "Oh, I'm tired of. I'm gonna slap you if I hear one more word out of your mouth," and all this crap. I mean, it just they didn't play it well. I think they could.
Hey, Ethan was great tonight.
Oh yeah, Ethan. We've always said on this show that he's one of the reasons why you should watch TNA if you don't, because he's the total package. He can talk great. He can wrestle. So I mean, TNA got lucky getting him.
Like, even Nick Carter said tonight that on Twitter that someone said that Ethan Carter should be a world champion. She says she agrees.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why? I mean,
anyway.
I mean, I get it. Why Lashley's the champ. I do. He's a big guy. He's gonna be on Bellator in a month. You know, I understand where they're going, but it just seemed. Yeah, I don't understand.
they want to really they should really watch some WWE, which I already know they do. How WWE did Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, like that. That's how they should be doing these Bellator people, not like they've been doing.
Having them get involved.
Yeah, I mean, they had Ronda Rousey there just sitting watching the show. Why not do that instead of bringing these UFC guys in? You plant a a Bellator person and the crowd. Look who's here enjoying this TNA action. Something like that. You don't sit there and just pop up these guys and pay them $10,000 or $20,000 to show up for one night.
Yeah, I mean, like a perfect way to promote your pay-per-view of Bellator and maybe even TNA is you invite the guy Lashley is going to fight to the event. You have him sit in the crowd and say at the end of the night, Lashley faces whoever in the main event, and Lashley is exiting the ring and he sees him, and they have a couple of words with each other and maybe some shoving goes on. That'll get you remembering what happened. I mean, like, oh man, I might want to see this fight between these two guys. Not bring in Rampage and Tito Ortiz and
a bunch of washed-up guys who've been 20 years out of their prime showing up at TNA.
I didn't care for it. But let's get to the second match of the night, which was for the X Division Championship, Low Key versus Samoa Joe. I didn't know these two guys had such history. It seemed like these guys, they portrayed it on TV.
Early days, back before it was even on TV, back when it was just like pay-per-views, which I didn't really watch it back then either, but, I mean, it must have been something like that. And for a while, when Joe first won the title, he was undefeated, like, for a year, I believe, when he was X Division champion, so, the original time, so...
I mean, I enjoyed the match. I'm a big fan of Low Key.
Yes.
I do not. There was a comment on our last TNA video saying that he works for the company. He's an agent. I don't think that's true. I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, I don't want you to like hold me onto that, but I do not believe he works for TNA at all. I think he's an independent wrestler.
If he's really, I mean, is he only going to show? If he works for TNA, he's only going to work backstage.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense to me. You would see you would think if he worked for TNA, they would
I believe
want in the ring. I'm sorry?
I believe he still works on the indies anyway, wrestling. So I really don't think that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does too. I believe that's where he stands as an independent wrestler, like Matt Hardy and Rhino and all these guys that they're bringing in for these shows because they're in New York. It's because the people in New York know who these guys are.
Now, we know for sure that Matt Hardy is signed to a contract with TNA, so we know that because it was announced and everything.
No, he's not signed with them.
Oh, they did do a thing where Matt Hardy signed with TNA, not even on their website.
See, I didn't know that. I thought he was just there for these tapings and that's it. But I mean, I guess I missed that.
I did see where they put on the website. It said Matt Hardy signed with TNA, but maybe it is only short term. I don't know, but. Maybe that's all they do anyway, is short term. I don't know with TNA.
Well, right now that might be all they can afford. If you were living under a rock today, TNA got their TV deal extended to the end of the year. So I mean, it's not
extension. Yeah, either it's just to give them more time to find another TV spot, or it's to see how good they do and if they re-sign them for another 6 months or whatever. Maybe that's how they'll work for now on every 6 months.
I mean, I don't know. to me, TNA on Twitter seemed a little bit kind of dead. At least
Yeah.
with the people that I follow.
I did notice that Joe versus Loki was a trend when they were that was like a #1 trend when that match is going. I did notice that.
Oh, okay.
I did notice that that was trending. So
Well, that's a
because
good sign.
it was a really good best match on the whole show, and that's why I don't understand why they can't just do that. Like you were saying, that all these hardcore I Quit match, which was terrible.
Yeah, we'll get into that one. I mean, like seriously, why would you need? I mean, I get it, it's a hardcore justice. Sure, you got to have some hardcore matches, but it seems like every week we have a gimmick match, which if it's a cage match to a chair match to, I mean, whatever you want to call it. It just seems, it's just to get old. I mean, it was nice to actually see a regular match and a clean finish with two guys that are good wrestlers. I mean, it just, you don't always have to show us blood, TNA, even though people complain about it. You know, you don't always have to show us that. But Samoa Joe wins, picks up the victory, he retains his title. Any thoughts on this show? I'm sorry, on this match before we advance on with the show?
I just really enjoyed this match. I thought it was a great match.
Okay, next we had that shitty I Quit match.
You didn't like the Joe Caval match, or what his name is, Loki.
Oh, I loved that match.
Oh.
Like I'm saying, it was nice to see a regular match. I mean, these two guys obviously, have great chemistry together, and it's nice to see Samoa Joe, a big guy like that, and a little small guy as Loki. He can just throw them around.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they don't bury the title now. I mean, I hope they keep having title matches or some type of with the X Division every week. We shall see.
Yep. Next, we got that I Quit match that me and Dave. I mean, I don't care for Ken Anderson. Okay, so a lot of matches of he is involved in, I'm not going to like, and that's just my biased opinion. I do not like Ken Anderson. Yes, he made a no smoking ad today. Much respect to him for that. But
I haven't seen that. That I'll give credit for, really, because I haven't seen one of those on TV, like from a professional athlete, and wrestlers are professional athletes, to sit there and talk about something like that and do an anti-smoking ad. I don't see the WE doing that. They do mostly anti-bullying, so I'll give them credit. Who knows? That might have been all Ken Anderson's idea, too. And then they said, yeah, let's use this,
Yeah, I mean, it was nice, but Ken Anderson in the ring does not excite me at all. I mean, it was an I Quit match with Samuel Shaw. There was no weapons involved. And yes, I was just complaining about a hardcore match, but if it's an I Quit match, you would think a weapons or something would be involved to make someone quit.
And no offense to Samuel Shaw, but, I mean, he's not really the best in-ring performer right now.
Yeah, that camel clutch he did on Ken Anderson was awful.
Yeah. I would have been better if it was Gunner, I think, in Ken Anderson in an I Quit match than Samuel Shaw.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm not a Gunner fan. I would much have rather seen him face Ken Anderson. Maybe they would have had a better match, but I mean, Ken Anderson gets the win. He makes Samuel Shaw. He made him quit in a submission hold, and it was just blech. It was just a blech match. I would have, if it was a good match, I would tell you it was a good match, but it wasn't. It was not a good match. Any thoughts on this one, Dave?
No. I was probably watching the Tigers game through this anyway.
We may not be going all in order, but we'll just say what was on the show. We had a Dixie Carter interview with Mag Tenay from her house, and someone made a good point on Twitter as well. I know it's kayfabe. She didn't really break her back, but they're having us cheer for her going through a table and breaking her back.
Yeah, that's kind of, like, really?
Yeah. It's a little bit too far. I mean, I get it, yeah.
Especially with all the stuff going on with domestic violence and stuff like that, and you want us to cheer another guy putting a girl through a table.
Yeah. That's just a little bit too far. I mean, yeah, you could have said, yeah, she went through a table, nothing happened to her. Maybe she got a concussion. That wouldn't have been.
I think it would have been better if this would have been like a Gail Kim or another diva doing this to her, or a knockout doing this to her, because then it wouldn't have been so bad as like, oh yeah, a guy just put a girl through a table. I mean, yes, and you can argue people who are going to complain about this, which are going to say, well, you guys are the one who want the Attitude Era back, and that's what we had in the Attitude Era.
Yeah. And all that.
We had that a lot.
But back in the Attitude Era, the America itself wasn't so sensitive, you know.
Yeah.
Nowadays, America.
Yeah, but that's a big argument too, because people argue on the other half of it. Like everyone says how they want the Attitude Era back. They missed and that's Attitude Era stuff right there.
Yeah, and like I said, I wouldn't have mind if they said, you know, Bully Ray put it through the table, she got like a concussion. That's something that you can cheer for. You know, it's nothing life-threatening or anything like that. But a broken back, you know, that's just like.
And then the
we
next
get
week,
it. You know, we're supposed to hate.
Yeah.
So it's just too far. But
yeah,
she just pretty much said that she. Go ahead, Dave.
I was just saying it's too much. I mean, you don't really need all that, but it was a payoff. And when's the last? And I'll give TNA credit for that, because they haven't always went through with their storylines and done a big payoff. So they did give you the payoff finally.
Yeah. And she pretty much said that she is not going to be very much in ring involved anymore. She's going to concentrate more on the business and stuff like that. What she should have been doing in the first place, and not being on TV every week on the microphone every week. I mean, how nice was it not to see Dixie Carter doing a promo tonight? It was great.
And you know what? Her stuff from her little interview from the living room was probably more of some of her best promo she ever done, because it was more of her being her than her trying to be this fake character on TV.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure maybe the crowd has something involved with her doing promos too. Maybe she gets kind of rattled sometimes. I mean, she was good.
Nerve-wracking, I'm sure. I mean, anyone going out there in front of a live crowd trying to talk and cut a promo is hard.
Yeah, and I'll give her credit. It wasn't too bad, but just the showing a picture of her in a hospital, that just looked so fake. I mean, jeez. It looked like a doctor's appointment. I mean, seriously. You could have did a little bit better.
We're spending much time on Dixie Carter.
So, she pretty much said that, and we move on to the Knockouts Last Man Standing match between Angelina Love and Gail Kim. I'm not a big Angelina Love fan.
Go ahead.
I will give him credit when credit is
Thank you.
And it was a good match.
Yes. I mean, I was shocked, actually. That little Sheamus kick, I guess you want to call it, was pretty sick to the chair.
But here's my thing. It seems like, and I could be wrong, totally 100% wrong on this, that TNA knockouts, especially, only really have good matches when gimmicks are involved.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I could be wrong. Like, the Tara and Terrell match, that was supposed to be the best Knockout Divas match we've ever seen, right? But it was a hardcore match. I mean,
that was an awesome match, though.
Can you really declare that as the best match of the year? I mean...
Yeah.
And I'm not going to try to get into the WWE Divas because they're on a different than the Knockouts. But...
Yeah, the Divas in their 20s... And no offense to these women, they're only using the well-established women in TNA. They're not using the future. TNA for a long time was the future. And now it's the WE. It's kind of shifted. WE's went straight to the future. And you got people like AJ Lee and Paige. And now,
and TNA really doesn't even have a knockouts division anymore. You know, it's Gail Kim, Velvet Sky, Angelina Love, Terrence Harrell, and...
I mean, the last time their division was relevant is when Awesome Kong was dominating the knockouts division. The last time they were even relevant.
And that's been years ago. Long time ago. And
not too many years, but yeah, it's been a few years.
It's been like at least 4 or 5, because remember she was in WWE for a little bit?
For like a minute.
She debuted at the Royal Rumble, so that was like a good 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, but yeah, they need to get some more knockouts on TNA. But
I don't think they can afford it.
Gail Kim picks up the victory. She retains the title.
It was a pretty sweet move. I mean, it was a back body drop off the top rope onto a chair. It was like, dang.
Good match. Angelina Love loses.
So, these two are veteran wrestlers.
Yeah. But yeah, all in all, good knockouts match. Especially, it was probably the second best match of the night. If you wanna go. Yeah.
Probably the best I've seen in years.
Yeah. Next we had the Dudleys and the Hardys come down to the ring, and pretty much. And this is what made me laugh was when Matt Hardy said there was a resurgence of tag teams in TNA. He named 2, and one of them is not even really a tag team anymore. It just that didn't make sense to me. I mean, TNA doesn't really have a tag division anymore. If you think about it, they have Raw
on some CBS show, I believe.
Yeah, you know, you had
one of those guys are a tag team.
Yeah, you have the Bromans, you have the Wolves, you have.
Well, no, you don't have no more.
Whatever. I'm sorry.
I said the Bromans, you don't really have them no more because one of them's on the Amazing Race.
Yeah, so they don't really have a tag team division. That just made me laugh. But the Hardys and the Dudleys come down to the ring, pretty much say that they both want to be tag team champions again, and they challenge the Wolves pretty much to a match. The Wolves come down, say that they respect both tag teams and they want to be named and one of the best tag teams ever, and they accepted their challenge, which later on we heard Kurt Angle say that it's going to be a best-of-3 series, I believe, or a series of matches. They say what?
First one's next week. That should be good.
Yeah, and the winner of each match gets to pick what stipulation they want in the next match. So, should be interesting next couple of weeks of Impact. If you're not a big Impact fan and you're a fan of the Hardys or the Dudleys,
that's worth checking out just for those matches right there.
I would definitely tune in and watch those matches because they're going to be pretty damn fantastic.
Tables match, we guarantee it.
Oh, definitely ladders and tables match, and not sure what else they may have, but definitely those 2 matches will be involved. Definitely, maybe just a regular match as well. So we'll see. Did I miss anything else? I don't think I did. I think that was other than the main event what I'm about to talk about. But I think that's about
steel cage match.
Yeah, the 6 sides of steel. Oh, yeah, 6 sides of steel. I mean, we could talk about James Storm and Sonata. The Great Sonata is going to be debuting next week. I mean, this James Storm is just reminding me of Bray Wyatt, and I don't like how they're doing it. I don't like how they have him in the woods. I mean, it's not a legit copy or they're doing the same bit, but it gets that resemblance. You know what I mean? Of having Storm be some kind of dark person or whatever. I mean, just didn't make sense to me. But anyways, 6 sides of steel for the #1 contendership of Bobby Lashley's title. It had Rude, Storm, Gunner, Aries. Oh gosh, who else? Eric Young, and I'm missing one. Magnus. It was a good match. I mean, it was the same spots we've seen before. The powerbomb suplex.
Nothing big with the cage. I mean, nothing really spectacular, memorable for the match. Other than the lame, very lame, done a million freaking times finish.
Which was a draw between Rude and Eric Young. They both land at the same time.
I assume.
Either a triple threat or they have some kind of match to see who's the #1 contender. I mean, come on, TNA. You could have done better than that. I guess you want more people to tune in next week to see what happens, but I would have liked Rude to have won. We've already seen Eric Young and his title push already. It didn't really do well.
It made more sense to have Rude win because then it's like, okay.
Yeah, and Rude's battling with at the MVP and all them. So it just would have made more sense. And
want to use this to build up for another main event for Impact where you can have Eric Young versus Rude. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. And they just cut off the air. Like, it was nothing. They didn't say much after the match. They showed them arguing, and then they cut off, like, out of nowhere. It just tonight's TNA show kind of just seemed off tonight. It was a hardcore match, hardcore justice, and it just didn't deliver to me.
And the ratings, they better hope they do good because, man, they're going to be cut quick because those ratings are going to be up at least by Saturday now. Saturday or Sunday, there are going to be some ratings out, and so we'll see.
Yeah. And, I mean, like we said last week, moving to Wednesdays is smart because you don't know if SmackDown's moving to Thursdays and, you're getting football coming up. So they would have been destroyed. But, I mean, they may absolutely get killed in the ratings if they don't start stepping up their game. And, it doesn't help that they're doing these pre-tapings and people probably have read spoilers and stuff like that. And yes, there's not much on Wednesday nights. No, that's true.
And just a few, fall is starting, and there's going to be a lot of network shows coming back with a lot of their Wednesday shows, and they're going to be head-to-head with TNA.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not shitting on TNA at all. I'm glad they got an extension, and I do enjoy their wrestling. But some shows like this tonight, it didn't live up to the hype to me. I mean, they hyped up this Hardcore Justice pay-per-view or whatever, like it was going to be the best one of the year, and it just fell short to me. Way short. But do you have any comments you would like to throw in there before we end this lovely video and come back on Sunday?
Yeah, we might as well just end it there. I mean, the show wasn't that good. For you who enjoyed it, glad, good for you. Thanks for all the support we get with these TNA videos. We get a lot.
Yes, TNA videos. We do thank you guys for supporting our TNA videos. It seems like we always do good on those, so we do appreciate it. We're not expecting a huge volume this week because of the lack of the performance or the lack of show, you could say, on TNA this week. But hey, some people may have liked it. Me and Dave really didn't care for it. Yes, they had a couple of good matches, but as a whole, I mean, as a Hardcore Justice show, it just didn't live up to it to me. I mean, yes, the main event was all right. The Knockouts match was good. The low key and Samoa Joe match was good, but other than that, it was just forgettable. Samuel Shaw against Ken Anderson. I mean, really? And then Abyss versus Brown. We already, we touched on the problems we had with that match, but yeah, that's about it. That's going to pretty much end this video tonight. We will be back for Wrestling Talk Sunday, episode number 7. We got some things to talk about there, WWE related and TNA related. It might be mostly TNA related with the new extension and possibly Bully Ray leaving. And all this stuff with TNA going on, so definitely touching on that. Definitely touching on WWE. We can mention about the documentary that they showed tonight about the Shield. We can touch on that on Sunday. I'm sorry.
So there's that Daniel Bryan rumor going around right now about he might need Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan might be out a couple of more months than expected, 3 more months. I mean, perfect time to come back for the Royal Rumble, maybe. So he'll be out for a little bit longer than expected. So there's a lot to talk about on this Sunday's show. So hopefully, if you're not doing anything this weekend, you guys can join us.
And don't forget, if you guys are into the Attitude Monday Night Wars or War, Friday night after SmackDown on the WE Network, they're doing the first episode, I believe, of the Monday Night War.
Yes, so if you're a huge WCW fan back in the day, or fan of the Monday Night Wars back in the day, they will be starting. I'm not sure if they're going to air the show that they showed on the preview of it. I mean, it could be the same thing, but regardless, it's going to be a good series, and I would definitely check it out if you have the network. If not, you won't be able to see it, but definitely check it out on Friday night if you're home, if you have nothing else to do.
It should line right up with Nitro episodes premiering on the network by October, so it should line right up with that.
Yeah, so it should be a nice action-packed week of wrestling, and then we'll be back on Sunday to give our thoughts and give you any updates or news WWE, TNA related, and then we'll be back again Monday night with a Monday Night Raw review. But yes, if you do watch the show, TNA fans, please subscribe, please follow. We want to actually know how many TNA fans we actually do have that watch our show. We usually hit the 100+ views all the time with our TNA videos, so we really do appreciate you guys watching and sticking in there with us, even though that we're WWE heavy most of the time on this channel. But we do appreciate the guys that stick through us and stay with us to watch our TNA videos. Any last thoughts or anything you'd like to say?
Yes. If you guys really like our videos, hey, easy way to let us know. Tweet the video out. Show us that you like us. Tweet us if you want. Subscribe right down there.
Yeah, comment. Anything you'd like. I mean, even if you don't like the video, tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what you didn't like. We would love to show you this. We love criticism. We will accept it. We respect it. Don't say, oh, your beard's ugly, or you have ugly hair, or some shit like that. Then that's just trolling. If you don't like the way we're talking about TNA, if you think maybe we talk too much about WWE on a TNA video, let us know, and we'll take care of that. Just be respectful and don't be those.
Yeah, we're not all high tech like graphic people like some people are.
Yeah, exactly. I may put a little snap picture in the video, but that's about as much as I can do. I know we're not gonna have music playing or graphics like that, but we do our best on this show. We're not trying to make money. We just come on here and shoot the shit every week. So we'll be back next Wednesday. It's kind of hard to remember saying that. Wednesday with another TNA Impact review, which will be a pretty good Impact. We got the tag match with the Dudleys, Hardys, and the Wolves. Fallout from the Rude and Eric Young. And, I'm not sure what else. Did they announce anything else? I may have missed it.
I didn't see anything. I don't know. All
right. Well, then we'll be back Sunday. It'll probably be an early edition of World Wrestling Talk Sunday. And if you can join us, please do. If not, just comment down below, and we'll get to your comments later at a later date. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll be back Sunday afternoon.